Hey, race fans, man, I'm glad you guys came back to see me. Man, oh man, oh man. You know, everything's going great back here. I'm telling you what, Connie's doing pretty good. She's doing really good. And she's been real happy. We've had good crowds every weekend and the concession stand and everything. And the other speedway seems to be doing a whole lot better. And that's great. That's great for you guys. You don't have to drive 40 miles to go to a race. Anyway, and they're putting on a good show over there, by the way, because we got the right people over there. And we got the lady where she belongs in the office. You don't talk to anybody, okay? That working really good, okay? Okay, so anyway, that's that. Oh, well, my toilet that me and Trev put in works beautiful. I mean, it's perfect. You flush that sucker and it's right down it goes. You don't need a plunger. You don't need anything. But I don't think it can flush 24 golf balls. I don't know whether me and Trev's going to run that test or not. Well, that remains to be seen. So anyway, I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm a little loose, by the way. And one other thing I want to bring up. I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? Don't get me wrong. But man, if you guys would push the subscribe button, I mean, if you're going to watch me, please push the subscribe button, because these guys are getting all over. And Fred and Bud, you know, and I got to put up with their crap. And all you got to do is push the button, and then everybody's happy. And it doesn't cost you a dime, and you're doing me a favor getting these SOBs off my back. Okay, enough said about that. Now, the last show, you know, we was talking about red buff Flatery, and yeah, and I brought up in the comments, thank you, John, I really appreciate it. Down in the comments, John said, hey, young people in general are hardworking people, and they want to get going with their lives, and they've got a lot of drive, and they got everything. So I apologize to all you young people. And what's sad about it is everybody wants to compare you to the duds, the guys that are on the things and everything. And they're never going to amount to anything, okay? But everybody wants to throw you in that group. Of course, that's been going on since Jesus was throwing camel shit at the passing Jersey cows. Now, speaking of that, Brett Williams, his manure spreader broke down. And he's fixing a manure spreader. I said, hey, I'll come up there, and we'll do some modifying. You know, you'll have the best manure spreader in the area. And he goes, just stay home. I'll get it. And anyway, that's a perfect job for Brett Williams, I'm telling you. Because I don't know of anybody that can stir the turd more than he can. And I like Brett, don't get me wrong, I really like him, okay? But, you know, he can really fire me up. So anyhow, he's fixing a manure spreader. So we ain't going to get a report from him today. Anyway, back to last show, as I said, Flatery finished 16th in the Mercury Ganser. I'm not pronouncing that right. I'm sorry, Ganser Mercury Miller. And I explained the Millers and everything else. But after the 1950 500, Flatery got in trouble with the AAA, okay? And that's because he was running the Hurricane Hot Rod Association. And here's my saying, and that doesn't go on today, okay? Thank God. Because the thing is, these racing organizations turn into socialists. And they won't let their drivers drive in any place else, or they'll ban them. That's not right. That's socialism. That is not America, okay? And then AAA, if you want to keep your drivers driving, raise the purses and get more races, and then they won't be messing around in hurricanes so they can eat. But anyway, that's, you know, they don't do that anymore. Thank God. You know, you guys are race drivers. They're feeding their families and everything else, and they got to be out there racing, okay? So anyway, he got in trouble with the AAA in 1950, and it killed his opportunities at Indy in 1951. It just killed it. Oh, speaking of that, I have talked to people that went to those hurricane races, and they said they were fantastic. My uncle, he's gone now, he used to go to those races. Not Uncle Phil, Uncle Wayne. He used to go to these races. He was telling me about it. And what really impressed him was Barney Oldfield. He was windshields, shatterless windshields, and he got out there and had a car come at him, I don't know, maybe 60 miles an hour, and he threw a baseball into the windshield and it didn't break. And he was really impressed with that. But anyway, everybody I've talked to said that was great, okay? I mean, I didn't get to go. But anyway, Flatery, he won the championship, the Hurricane Championship in 1951 and 52. And he made good money. Them championships paid. Them races paid. They kept bread on his table. And then it was right in his hometown there in Chicago, he could run his bar, okay? He could go down to Soldier Field and race, get out of the car and go back to the bar and start serving beer. All right, maybe start a fight. I mean, stop a fight. Okay. So anyway, and I bet you that bar was wild. But anyhow, that's what he did. Hang on, I got my note. I gave you. Okay, so now in 1953, he got AAA's blessing to come back to Indy. Well, I'll bet you money. I bet you any amount. He paid them off to make them happy, because that's what went on back then, okay? You gave them a couple $100 or whatever, and they go, oh, okay, okay. They can't say okay without the $300, $400, $500. But anyway, that's over with, okay? So anyway, he got that. And due to his poor performance, because he finished, well, first he didn't make the race, the car wasn't fast enough. And then he finished 16th, I think it was. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm not going to gaze through here, you understand. But he couldn't get a good ride, okay? The good car owners weren't even looking at him. Well, anyway, he was down there, and in 50, oh boy, oh, I got 1954 here. Okay, 1954. I hope I don't get you confused on the dates. Well, I'm confused. But anyhow, 1954, he went down there and he tried two cars out. He went out and hot lapped them, and they weren't fast enough, and he ain't going to monkey around, okay? I mean, it's dangerous. This is a dangerous sport. You know, you can be killed in a minute, a split second. I mean, things weren't safe back then, okay? And he didn't feel they was fast enough, so he hung around down at the Speedway, and he did drive relief. He was a relief driver for Jim Rathman, who also was a Hurricane driver, okay? They probably was good friends, and that's what they did back then, because these cars, I mean, just beat you to death, and they'd have a relief driver get in. Now, I don't know how the money worked or anything, but anyhow, that's what they did, and he drove Rathman's relief for him. But while he was down there, dang it, I'm sorry, he made connections with Harry Dunn. I'm sorry about that, but I don't know nothing about Harry Dunn. All I know is he owned a race car at the time, and it was an odd-looking roadster and everything. I mean, I read about that. But Flatery got in it, and he said, man, I think I can win in this thing, maybe. I can definitely go up front with it, and he drove it. And he finished 10th in the 1954 Indy 500, okay? Well, that didn't really help him a lot on his career, okay? He didn't really get anybody's attention. But the thing is, he went to Milwaukee in the same car and he won. Okay? The Milwaukee Mile. He went to the Milwaukee Mile in that car and he won. And that caught the car owner's attention, because he was in a car that probably was best to finish 4th or 5th, and he won in that car. And that impresses car owners, okay? because you can handle and handle the situation and make adjustments and so on and so on. And that's what they're looking for, okay? And so he caught the eye of, he caught the eye of Watson, okay? Watson. A.J. Watson, one of the best, I'm telling you, in the 60s, if you had an A.J. Watson car, you had a car that could win, okay? And A.J. was in the business of selling race cars, okay? And when you bought one of his cars, you could buy it 3 different ways. One, you could buy a turnkey, it's ready to go. Next thing you could do is buy the chassis and stuff assembled and drop your offie in it and go racing. And the third way was you could buy a kit and build it yourself, okay? But when you bought a Watson car, you got Watson, okay? And if you're having trouble down there at Indy or any track you're at, you can go down to Watson and say, hey, come down here and check this out. And he'd put it on the setup pad and he would do everything because he wanted his cars up front. One Indy 500, his cars took first and second. Okay, and I can't tell you what year it was. But anyway, he did. And he dominated Indianapolis for 11 years, okay? I mean, and if you wanted to win races, if you wanted to win the Indy 500, you had to have an A.J. Watson car. And then the thing is, that I got some facts here about him. His first attempt at Indy was 1948 and he failed. He came back with a homemade car and he failed with that too. But then he came back with the Watson, A.J. Watson, okay? And then, yeah, I wrote it down. He hooked up with John Zink, him and John Zink. And now they're out in California. And the thing is, after the war, he got interested in airplanes and everything. He wanted, you know, so he went to L.A. where the airplane factories were. And the next thing you know, he's building chassis. And then he hooked up with John Zink, who was a genius and an engineer, you know. And the thing is, like I said, if you bought one of their cars, you got them with it. Because they want you to win. And they want you to be up front. They want to sell more race cars, okay? And by the way, you socialists, that's called competition. Okay? And it's better for everybody. We get better cars because everybody else that's building cars are trying to make one that's just as good as the Watson. That's called competition, you socialists. Anyhow, and socialism won't work, okay? And, you know, it hasn't yet. It will never will. But anyhow, that's what they did. They, and John Zink. And in my next show, we're going to wrap up Flatery and everything. I'm going to go, you know, into some depth about John Zink and everything. And it's, to me, it's very interesting. I mean, these guys were unbelievable. And they're selling race cars, and they're winning. And the thing is, their theory was, they were sharp enough, and their driver was good enough. They could beat anybody. So let's have some competition. Let's just see what you got. Let's get out on the track and find out. And that's what I love about racing. Because that's what racing is. It's exactly what it is. Everybody helps each other. I just bought a book. Gee whiz. Kelly Earnhardt Miller. Drive is the name of the book. And in the front of it, she says, I want to help people that help themselves. Now, you know, and she is one smart woman. I'm going to read her book and we'll probably do a show on her, but that's going to take time. I'm so busy doing everything. Once again, I'm a little loose. I want to make sure you know that. Really and truly, I don't want to beg you, because it really isn't important. It really ain't. But them guys, it's important, okay? And you can help me out. And you can get my producer, Fred, and Bud off my back. And we're doing everything possible to make this thing work. So I gotta go. I got so many things to do. I could sit here all day and talk racing, I'm telling you. And you remember my motto. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Hey, look at this, guys. Rowdy. Yeah. Now, I'm just like the big race drivers. But I ain't getting paid for it. And that's fine. I think this stuff's dynamite. Bud, I said, you better get it. I'll give you a can of this stuff. Try it. Man, you won't believe what it will do. But anyhow, it's a great product. And it does everything it says on the can. You know. And the thing is, down there somewhere, Bud tells me we got a link to Amazon. You push the button, you can order your 12-pack or a case. And a 12-pack will cost you about $24. And it'll be at your doorstep. And, hey, I gotta go. You remember my motto, okay? You know, when you're going down the street and everything, and hey, say hi, and how are you? Hell, yesterday I went and walked on a walk, and we got a church down this road there. It's a church. It's in their garage. They started it during the pandemic so they could worship God because the big churches were closed. Okay? And I stopped in and say hi and everything. And how you doing? And the guy's named Jerry Ford, okay? And he just lives down the road. But anyway, just make somebody's day, please. Make somebody's day. And thanks a lot for watching. Our next show is going to be Flatery 4. This is Flatery 3. I just caught on to that. Oh, boy. And we're going to wrap Flatery up, and then we're going to go on to somebody else. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate it. I really, really do. You guys have a great day.